certain jobs with certain races or cultures, for example, Mexican lawn workers. Because this job requires such little skill, people often associate Mexicans as being low skilled. In the United States, immigration is a huge factor in our economy and our workforce and can implement major effects in both these systems. After doing research on this topic, I have found that there are many positive and negative effects that can come from immigration being a part of our workforce in the United States. We as college students need to be aware of these effects because we are all trying to graduate college and pursue a career, and immigration can certainly affect our future employment. So today I'm going to talk about three main points. One, the positive effects of immigration on our workforce. Two, the negative effects of immigration on our workforce. And three, some possible solutions that can be used to resolve these issues in the future. Contrary to popular belief, immigration actually can bring many positive effects to our workforce, such as providing more jobs and helping our economy. There has been research that has shown that native-born workers and immigrants can actually complement each other in the workforce. According to American Progress, native-born workers and immigrants have different skill sets, therefore they seek different jobs, and that won't affect the labor market competition for the native-born workers. There is also evidence of small but positive impacts on native-born workers resulting from the indirect effects that immigrants have on our labor market and economy. And according to economists Michael Clemens and Robert Lynch, in certain areas of the labor market, there are lower skilled immigrants can they can actually keep certain industries alive, even though they're lower skilled, which can help the native-born workers that work in these industries and ones that work closely within these industries. And immigration can also positively affect different groups of American workers. So for example, as immigrants enter the labor market, groups such as African Americans respond to these changes by moving up to higher skilled and higher paid jobs. As many of you know, immigration can also have many negative impacts on our workforce, such as dysfunctionality, low-skilled workers, and a large illegal workforce. And according to the Federal Administration of Immigration Reform, our current immigration system is considered dysfunctional because it is non-responsive to the socioeconomic changes in our country. Also, according to the FAIR, the immigration contributes to a pre-existing surplus of low-skilled workers, which in turn can increase job competition and drive down wages and conditions to the detriment of the native-born workers. Immigration also makes for a large illegal workforce, which perpetuates a vicious cycle as the degraded working conditions and discourage Americans from seeking these jobs and makes employers more dependent on a foreign illegal workforce. So now that I've talked about the positive effects that can come from immigration on the workforce and the negative effects that can come from immigration on the workforce, I'm going to talk about some solutions that can be used to resolve these issues in the future. So one thing that can be used to keep track of immigrants is biometric identification. So if employers who want to hire guest workers should be required to verify electronically that these workers have registered with the Worker Visit Program and that they are eligible to work in the United States. Secondly, guest worker status should not be a path to citizenship and should not include the rights to U.S. social benefits, because if coming to work in the United States, it comes with a potential promise for citizenship, then there's going to be an oversupply of all these workers, and it's not going to help anyone. Lastly, efficient legal entry for guest workers is a necessary condition for compliance. So existing illegal immigrants should be required to leave the United States and then allowed re-entry through border checkpoints with strict conditions for identification, documentation, and compliance with U.S. law. So in conclusion, there are many positive and negative effects that can come out of immigration on the workforce, but by following some some solutions, the negative effects can be eventually simplified to become positive. Hopefully you are now more aware of both these negative and positive effects and how they can affect our economy, our workforce, and your future. And I'm going to end with a quote from Ian Golden from the University of Oxford, and he said, "Migration has always been one of the most important drivers of human progress and dynamism." And